Hi everyone, and welcome back to Waterhouse Ford. As you can see, the tractor is gone. It is no longer in the workshop, and that is because it's now in the top barn where we're planning to start painting. We've had it's the middle of July, and we finally had a little bit of a break in the weather. Had about a week of dry weather. We used that time to prepare the area where we want to do the painting. I'm going to take you over there in a minute and show you what we've done and how we've set that up. But also yesterday we moved the tractor out of the workshop, got it all cleaned up, degreased it, gave it a good wash, and moved it down into what we call the top barn, the Dutch barn, which is where, as I say, we've set up the spray area. Bit of a makeshift spray booth. Very homemade, but I think it's going to help us just to keep the fumes under control and hopefully allow us to do a reasonable job of the paint. Now, as luck would have it, the British weather has got to us again, and today unfortunately is not quite as warm as I would have liked. In fact, they're calling for rain pretty much all day, although it hasn't arrived yet. It's just very cloudy, it's very murky, quite damp at the moment, so I'm not sure whether we're actually going to get to do any painting today. We'll see how things progress. Got a few more jobs to do, taping up, covering. I've got to do things like take the steering wheel off, things that we don't want to get paint on, get those off. The wheels are off, I'll show you that in a second. We've got it up on stands, and we've also got a little bit of plumbing to do on the compressor. I want to install the water trap. Obviously, when we're spray painting, we don't want any moisture coming through the line, so we need to plumb in the moisture trap, which hasn't been done since we moved property, which is now almost 2 years ago. But actually, we haven't actually found a home for the compressor yet, so it's still a little bit mobile. Hence, the water trap not yet actually installed. But point being, this video really is just going to walk you through. We've taken a few shots, a few videos, a few pictures, that sort of thing, as we've made progress over the last couple of days. I'm going to include those, but also I'm going to take you for a walk now, and we'll show you the tractor, where it is and how it has been set up, and there's a few odd jobs that need doing in order to get ready for paint. In terms of paint, I'm using Agriline product. It's paint that actually came with the tractor. So when I bought the tractor, for those of you who remember, we bought this tractor part restored. It was essentially a rolling chassis. All the parts were, or many of the parts were taken off of the tractor, and so parts of the tractor came in boxes, which we've obviously over this 6 years we've been putting, going through everything, sorting it out, restoring it, and slowly but surely putting the tractor back together. But also included in all of that was this paint from Agriline, which I've read quite a few good reports on it. It is obviously now 6 years old, so I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. My plan obviously is to at least put a couple of coats on, see if I'm happy with it. If I'm not, then of course we can always either get another fresh batch essentially, and then put a final coat on. I'm hoping that it's good enough at least to put essentially the undercoats on, the base coats, and we'll see how we go. If all else fails, we'll have to strip it down and start again. But I think it's going to be okay. It has been stored in reasonable conditions all the way, all that time. So I'm hoping that it will be fine. In theory, you're not supposed to use paint that is so old, but it seems a heck of a waste to not at least try. So that's the plan. Yeah, I think that's about it for the intro. I'm going to take you out. We'll walk you through, show you where we are, and what progress we've made. So as I said, the workshop is now empty. What's going to be good is I can actually get these sheets out now, take them outside, give them a good clean, get rid of all this oil, and get those sorted out. So that's going to be quite good. You can see out here in the courtyard we've got the wheels. Going to be doing a separate video just on painting those, show you how we're going to do that. But they're over there, and then off to our right here you see the old International. And in here we have created this booth, essentially. This is an old, what they call Dutch barn, and we've created a frame, and then from that frame we've hung this material. Now, I honestly don't know what this material is. It was just something that was on the property when we bought it. When we bought the property, previous owners left it behind for us. Initially I thought it was some sort of fruit cage material, but it's extremely fine. You can see how fine it is. And we have created this space in here. Now, this contraption with the wood and strings, that's so that we can basically pull those and open this essentially as a curtain. That allowed us obviously to get the tractor in, but for general use we're just going to come through this opening here on the side. And there we see the tractor. Excuse the birds, we've got birds nesting in the roof, so we will get a little bit of noise from them, I'm afraid. But as you can see, all the wheels have been removed. It's up on jack stands, it's nice and solid, nothing to worry about there. But yeah, just a couple of jobs that need doing still. So you can see on this side I've taped up the wheel studs, taped up the grease nipple, and I still need to remove the steering wheel. I'm probably going to remove the seat, and there was one other thing I wanted to remove, which is the hydraulic quadrant, the hydraulic control quadrant. So I'm going to remove that and paint that separately. I suppose I could. The reason I want to do that is because I don't want to get paint on this surface in here, which is where your friction material runs. I don't want paint in there. So, I mean, in theory I could probably tape it up, or possibly even just put the old friction material in there. But I figured it's probably just as easy to pull it off and paint it separately. Yeah, a few other bits here. So you can see I still need to tape up these wheel studs and the grease nipple there. And obviously the back wheels still need the studs still need taping up as well. One other thing that we've done in here, I'll try to move not too quickly to not make you feel seasick. We've rigged up this air extraction system. This curtain's blowing a bit, it's a little bit breezy today. I'm going to close the barn so that'll solve that. But yeah, so we've got this air extraction system. It's actually a woodworking setup that normally you'd set up around your wood turning lathe and stuff like that, but I've just got it laid out here. It runs out of the barn, and on the outside I've got the extractor running. The fan will run there, and that hopefully will keep the fumes out of here. I will obviously be wearing PPE, proper mask and goggles, etc., and make sure that I'm protecting myself, but nevertheless I still want to have some extraction from here. So if you look up, you can see the top is open. I haven't closed that in. I don't think the overspray is going to get that high. That is good 2.5, possibly 3 meters high, so I don't think it'll get up there. Especially with that extraction system running, that'll hopefully keep it down and get it out of here reasonably easily. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. So today, like I said, I'm going to finish the taping up. I got to remove things like the steering wheel, as I said, and then also the plumbing on the compressor. And then I think what we might do today, as long as the weather holds and it doesn't actually get too damp in here, what I will probably do is get the first 1.5 coats on. By 1.5 I mean the very first coat being a bit of a light dusting, and then a good coat on top of that, roughly, as soon as that starts drying up. We talked about that in our last video, the painting process, not the last one, the one before. But yeah, so I might get those first 2 on today, and then with the hope being that we'll get the final coat on tomorrow and see how it looks. If I'm happy with it, then we'll move on. If not, then we might put another 2 or 3 coats on, depending on the final finish. But we're up against it a little bit here time-wise. For those of you who follow us on Facebook, you will have noticed that we're planning to be at the RHS Rosemore Vintage Weekend, which is next weekend. That's the 27th and 28th of July. That's near Torrington in North Devon, and I really want to have the Ferguson there. It'll be on a trailer. It won't be running at that point, but I would like to have this painted and back on its wheels and basically able to be pulled up onto the trailer. And what we'll do is we'll tow it with the International, and so we'll have the two tractors on display at the RHS Rosemore Vintage Weekend. If you're in the area, if you're from North Devon, or if you happen to be down this way, or if you just fancy a trip out, why not come and visit us at the RHS Rosemore Vintage Weekend? As I said, near Torrington. I will put a link to to their website, and also for the show in the description of the video if you're interested. But we'll be there. We'll have hopefully both tractors. If not, then definitely the International will be there. We'll be there. We'll have a marquee up, and obviously we'd love to meet you. So if you're in the area and you do come along, please make sure to stop by and say hi. We'd love to meet you. But right, that's going to do it for this bit. I'm going to get on now. I'll come back once I've made a bit more progress and show you where we are, and probably do a couple of short clips as we finish each layer, each coat essentially. But yeah, looking forward to it. So the tractor's outside the workshop, having just degreased it and then put the vapor rust on, and we've now literally just rinsed off the vapor rust. Just wanted to quickly show you. So this is the workshop where it's been, and this is the area that we've prepared for it for painting. So across here, across the courtyard, we've got this big old what they call Dutch barn, and on this, what's essentially the left-hand side, we have this huge opening. And what we've done is we've built this enclosure inside the barn with using this material. And honestly, I don't know what it is, but you can see that it's just something that we had lying around. It's like a black material. It is a net of some sort. You can just see through it, but it's an extremely fine weave. And so I'm pretty confident that that's going to retain most of the overspray whilst we spray inside here. I've put an old piece of linoleum down on the floor to because this is a dirt floor barn. You can see the dirt, and what we've done is just laid some linoleum down inside here to try and obviously keep the dust off. And then I have a single light in here on the roof. There are other lights, you can see them shining through the material there, but of course they're not getting through. So I'm going to be rigging up some temporary lights in here as well. Well, I guess the weatherman was right this time. It's absolutely pouring outside, so I'm afraid there won't be any painting taking place today. Looking at the forecast, they reckon it's going to finish raining around midnight tonight, and hopefully tomorrow should be dry. May still be a little damp, but at least we won't have rain, so we'll have to try painting tomorrow rather. That's fine. That gives me time today to finish up all the masking. I've actually now completed the plumbing for the compressor. That's actually now situated outside. So you can see it standing there and ready to roll. Got the water trap attached. It's just temporary at the moment. Obviously we still need to find a home for that compressor. But anyway, so yeah, rain has stopped play, I'm afraid. We're going to keep ourselves busy. I can actually start work on the bonnet, get that tidied up, get it sanded down, well, sanded a little bit, do some filling maybe, and get that ready to be painted as well. And then of course there's always the mud guards that need quite a bit of work, as you know from our previous video. So there's plenty to do, keep myself busy, and hopefully we'll be laying down some paint tomorrow. Okay, moving along here, what I've done, I've obviously set up the bonnet here. I've given it a good scrub. It's covered in dust and a little bit of bird, you know what. So I've given it a good scrub, got it all hopefully cleared down. But I have noticed there's a couple of points that need a little bit of panel beating. There's a bit of a dip over here, and on the other side we've got a bit of a bow. So it's going to need a little bit of panel beating, not a lot. But the biggest issue with this is the rust, basically, the corrosion. And I do want to try and fill that. I want to put a filler on here and try and smooth it. Basically just get it into those pittings and try and just smooth it out a little bit. Again, I'm not aiming for showroom quality here, showroom finish, but I do want to try and get that a little bit smoother. So whilst that's been drying, I've moved over to the mud guard that we looked at last time. And you can see here I've removed the bottom frame. Now the bit I wanted to show you quickly is I'm just going to zoom in on this area, and you can see essentially how bad this thing was before they obviously sandblasted it and then base coated it. But this is essentially the original. So you can see the original rust, and then they had this stuck in here, and it looks like body putty was used to hold it in, essentially to cover up this big hole here. So I'm really glad that we're doing this, and again, the plan is to basically cut it off probably along this line here, straight across, and create a new, weld in a new piece. Again, I need to work out how I'm going to do these folds. That's not something that I've done before, but I'm sure I can do it. Certainly have a go. But you can see as well how these holes have been quite badly deformed here. There's that one's a bit elongated, and then it's also got a massive hump here. This one's just got it's a large deformation basically. But this metal is rubbish, right? I can bend it with my hand. It's not surprising that that's deformed a bit. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I'm now going to move on and actually measure up, hopefully make the cut, and but first I want to make a template so that I know exactly what I'm aiming for. I will obviously use the piece that I cut off as the actual template, but I want to make a paper template just in case as well, so that I've got that as a fallback option. But yeah, so that's where we are. Again, just moving along. Okay, this is where we are. As you can see, I've now got the other piece cut off. Here it is here. And I had to cut this bar off. This side was so badly rotted that I couldn't actually get this off without buckling the metal more. So I decided to cut this side off with the cut. I managed to open this one to get the bar out, or to get it off the bar. And then what I'm going to do is just weld that back there once we start the welding. So that also needs straightening. It's terribly buckled. So I can get that nice and straight before welding it back on. This one also has a very slight curve at the end here, so I'm going to get that straightened out as well. And that will help me when I bring the new piece in to obviously bend this end over. If that's nice and straight, then that should give me a good finish. Hopefully, that's the theory anyway. But now I've got this. You can see this is actually quite horribly buckled, and so is this. So I'm going to try to get this a little bit straighter. I need to relax this metal a little bit here, it looks like, and through here, and hopefully that will straighten this out a little bit more. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but hopefully I can just relax this a little bit by tamping it with a hammer and dolly, which is probably the next job. But anyway, the point is I've now got this that I can use as a template. I need to deburr it so that I don't cut myself. But this can now be used as a template to cut out the piece for the replacement piece, essentially. We'll get this edge tidied up, and then we'll bring it in. We'll marry it as best we can so that we've got as little a gap between the two, the new piece and the old, and then we'll start the welding process. But yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with how that's come off. It looks relatively straight, not too wildly cattywampus, but it's going to take there's a little bit of work to do. So yeah, the rain seems to have stopped, or rather eased now to just a very slight drizzle. So I'm hoping that the Met Office prediction is correct and that it does actually stop overnight, and that we've got a few hours of no rain through the early hours of the morning and obviously into the beginning of the day tomorrow, such that hopefully I can get all 3 layers laid down on the tractor tomorrow. That would be my goal. In between, we will obviously carry on with this. The bonnet is also now nice and dry, so between this and the bonnet, that gives me different things to be working on whilst waiting for the weather to improve, but also for the paint to dry in between coats and stuff like that. So yeah, again, we're slowly moving forward, edging forward inch by inch, and hopefully it will we will manage to make a lot more progress tomorrow. That's my hope anyway. We shall see. Well, we're about ready to spray. Got everything masked off. Got the paint ready, mixed. The gun is ready. I had to do quite a little bit of cleaning on the gun. It hasn't been used for a few years, so that took a little while this morning. But we've been blessed with some good sun. The rain did in fact stop actually early evening yesterday, and it's a little damp outside, but there's a lot of sun, and it doesn't feel damp in here at all. It feels quite good. We had the extractor running most of the morning, and that certainly has helped. But yeah, we're ready to roll. This is my mask that I'll be wearing. It seems to work really well. It's 3-in-1. It's very good. And yeah, the paint's been mixed. It's ready to roll. I'm going to do a little bit of test spraying. I've got a piece of cardboard set up in the spray booth, so we'll be doing a little bit of test spraying to start with. Make sure the gun is all set up right, and then we'll be laying down the first coat. So I'll come back when that's done. Well, as you can see, it's done. That's 3 coats, and it actually went on really well, really easy, straightforward. Basically, as I finished the first coat, finished one end, in other words, got from one end of the tractor to the other with the first coat, the other end was already dry enough to start the second coat. And then just a little gap between the second coat and the third coat. But yeah, it's I'm really pleased with it. It's come out really good. There's a few spots where I didn't quite manage to get in. You can see there. You can just see the red poking through there. So I will be doing some touch up now that I can see. Unfortunately, because I wear spectacles, my mask does actually get clogged up with paint. There's a slight gap where the mask goes over the arms of the spectacles, and unfortunately you do get a very small amount of vapor or overspray or whatever you want to call it into the mask, and eventually it covers the glass, so you can't, by the time you've been spraying for about an hour and a half, it's difficult to see. It wipes off real easy once you've got a bit of thinners on it, but anyway, so yeah, a few bits to touch up, but nothing major. On the back of these arms, it's really difficult to get in, especially as you get closer to the engine at the back there. So I will probably just finish those off with a small brush. I think that'll be okay. I don't think that's an issue. But for the most part, I've managed to get everywhere. And here the floor's still sticky from the paint. I got all the way underneath as well, right up underneath, laying on my back, got it all done. So yeah, really pleased with that. Well, there you go. That's the tractor now painted. That's the main part of the painting job done. Next thing really is to get the wheels done. You can see I brought the wheels in, or the first one in. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do a separate video on the wheels. I'll show you the process that I used there. Something that I learned from Varsgrip Garage. Derek Beery got a really good way of just masking off the tyre and painting the rim. Works extremely well, and it's real easy to do. So I'm going to be doing that. But anyway, listen, I'm going to finish this video here. It's getting quite long now, and I actually want to get it out and published today still, so that you can all hear about and know about the show next week. So I mentioned that at this, near the start of the video. So just a quick reminder, it's the RHS Rosemore Vintage Weekend, and it's the 27th and 28th of July. They are near Torrington, which is not far from us. And so we're going to be going down there, and we'll have the marquee, and we'll hopefully have both tractors there now. Even if it's just the tractor as it is now with the wheels on the trailer, that I'll be happy with that. It's a work in progress, and well, of course we'll have the International there, and the Ferguson will be on the trailer. So that's all I'm hoping for. But really looking forward to meeting everybody. Hope to see you there. If you're in the area, please come along. Most importantly, come along to the marquee. You will see us set up in the main field, and we have got a banner so you can see us. Yeah, we'd love to meet you. Come and introduce yourself. Let us know that you watch our videos, and of course, if you have any questions for us or whatever, just a normal meet and greet. But most importantly, just promoting the channel and the work that we do. So looking forward to it. I've got to crack on now, try and get these wheels done so they can go on the tractor once it's dry, and we can wheel it out of there and get the finishing touches on. And then of course the bonnet and the mud guards, I hope to have them finished in time for them to go back on the tractor and be on the tractor when we have to move it out to Rosemore on Friday. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Okay everybody, hope you have a great week, and see you on the next one. Cheers for now.